The Eibishter wants you to stop sinning. Why? For two reasons. Why do you want your child to behave well? For two reasons. First, you can't stand chutzpah. Second, it's your child. The Eibishter can't stand klipa, tumah, aveda. That's not enough reason to be angry at us for doing a sin. When the Eibishter says, I'm upset with you, there's such a compliment in that. It's such a compliment. Really? It bothers you that I'm not good? How come? Enough to bother him. It's one thing to say, you know, the Eibishter is very nice, he's very kind, he created a world, have some fun. If you blow it, you blow it, I don't care. But I'm just I'm giving you a chance to have some fun. The Eibishter created a world to do us a favor. You don't want the favor? Fine. But that the Eibishter should be upset by anything we do or don't do? Why would he get upset? Why does it bother him that much?
It's not just God sounds vengeful, and not just like, here, enjoy.
Vengeful and mechanical. There's no romance. Actually, I had this conversation with a guy. Maybe I've told you this already once. He's a kollel guy, which means he's in yeshiva all his life. He has 9 children, lives in Minneapolis, and he's never left yeshiva. Before he was married, after he's married, he sits and learns. Huh?
I asked if he learns.
He is a gadol. His wife came to Beis Chana once. And we were talking then about Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Avraham served the Eibishter out of love, Yitzchak served the Eibishter out of fear, and Yaakov served the Eibishter out of Rachmanas. And that you have to have Rachmanas on the Eibishter. Because he invested all of this in the world, he made himself vulnerable to our freedom of choice, and you have to have Rachmanas. She went home, and she told her husband what she heard. He calls me the next day, and he says, I'm just calling to clarify something. My wife probably didn't understand. She must have heard wrong. She came home and said that you said you should have Rachmanas on the Eibishter. Now, you couldn't possibly have said that. So I just want to clear it up. I said, yeah, that's what I said. He says, how could you? Rachmanas on the Eibishter? He says, we have to talk about this. I said, gladly. So I went over to his house, and we sat and talked an entire night, till the sun came up. Arguing back and forth and back and forth. And I'm quoting him this, and he quotes me that. And this was like this, and this is like that. And here it sounds like the Eibishter does care, but here it sounds like he doesn't care. Basically, his position was, the Eibishter is perfect. He's perfect. How can he need anything? He's perfect. So he's not getting, nothing's getting through to him. So I finally said, let me ask you a question just for my own curiosity. I'm trying to tell you that needing a mitzvah is not an imperfection. Let's say it is. And therefore you have to choose. What would you prefer? That the Eibishter is perfect or that the Eibishter needs you? He says that the Eibishter is perfect. That the Eibishter needs me, I need him, that's Baba Maisis. The Eibishter is perfect. I said, why do you need the Eibishter to be perfect? He said, because if he's not perfect, I won't serve him. So we continued on having this conversation, on and on and on. And we're both getting tired already, running out of steam. So I said to him, if you're right, that the Eibishter doesn't need anything, then what does it mean, Ivdu es Hashem? What do you mean serve him? What are you serving him? What he doesn't need? Listen to what this Talmud Chacham said. He said, you know, that's the one thing I never understood. He's a Talmud Chacham, he knows Shas by heart. The one thing he'd never understood is, what does Ivdu es Hashem mean?
Then why does he wake up in the morning?
I have no idea. But let's get to the punchline. Get to the punchline. We got up. We were both finished, exhausted. Nobody got anywhere. I didn't convince him. He didn't convince me. So finally, I get up. Good night. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. He says, wait a minute. Let's talk practical. He says, if the mitzvah is for me, then I'll do it. If he needs it, why should I do it? In other words, you're turning me off. By telling me that the Eibishter needs my mitzvah, you're turning me off. Because if he needs it, let him do it. Do you hear this? Oh, there's no answer to that. If he didn't need anything, he wouldn't be perfect. If he didn't need anything, he wouldn't be perfect. He would be a statue. What is impressive about not needing anything? Who doesn't need anything? A statue. A lifeless thing. I mean, the argument is so senseless that you can't even. Did the Eibishter create the world for a purpose? Yes. Oh, avada. So does he need something? Oh no, chas v'sholem. He created it for a purpose. Yes. So he needs something. No. So he created it for a purpose that he doesn't need. Now that's an Eibishter. Listen. What makes you perfect is your need.
Is your what?
Your need. If you needed nothing, you wouldn't be a human being. You'd be a stone.
We're talking about Hashem.
The reason people get so uncomfortable when you say the Eibishter needs is because we feel like our needs are weaknesses. And we don't want to apply that to the Eibishter. Is a need in a human being a weakness?
It's like a vulnerability.
Is vulnerability a weakness?
Yeah. Well, it depends what their need comes from. If they have an inherent need, then that's one thing.
Okay, there are needs that are weaknesses, like food, sleep. Because when you're eating and when you're sleeping, you're not really being a human being. You're taking a break from being a human being to do something that is not so human. Animals eat. Animals sleep. So why do we have certain things in common with animals? That's not right. That's our weakness. But the things you need because you're a human being, that's your strength. So what do human beings need because they're human? Friendship, a purpose in life. So a person who says, I don't need a purpose in life, I'm perfect. No, you're not, you're an idiot. A person says, I don't need friends, what do you think I am? Emotionally dependent? No, I think you're a monster. So when a person needs friendship, that's a weakness? Well, that's what makes him perfect. So if the Eibishter needs something, that means he's a living Eibishter. An Avodah Zarah doesn't need anything. He is still incomplete. Because he still doesn't have what he wants or needs. So until there is a Dira B'Tachteinen, the Eibishter is not complete. Which means he suffers.